What if I told you that most of the pain you feel does not come from the world itself, but from the way you talk to yourself about the world? Imagine this. You wake up one morning and the sky is dark, the rain is loud, and everything feels heavy. Instantly, a voice inside says, "Today is ruined. Nothing good will happen." That voice, your inner dialogue, becomes your prison. Now contrast that with the mindset of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced betrayal, plagues, and wars, yet reminded himself each dawn, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." The sky, the rain, the chaos, they remain the same. But the story you tell yourself shapes your entire experience. This is where Stoicism begins, not with controlling the storm, but with controlling your response to it. And here is the question I want you to hold until the very end of this video. What if mastering your inner voice could transform every challenge of your life into fuel for growth? The Stoics understood something we keep forgetting in modern times. We live life twice, once in reality and once in our minds. Seneca, one of the most practical philosophers of all time, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about it. How many times have you replayed an argument in your head, multiplying your suffering long after the event was over? How many times have you worried about something that never even happened? That is the trap of untrained inner dialogue. It takes a single spark of fear or doubt, and your mind builds an entire fire around it. But Stoicism invites us to pause, to notice that spark and to say, "This is only a thought. It is not me. I can choose a better story." And when you choose better stories, you begin to live better lives. Here's the loop I want you to keep open. Your inner dialogue is shaping your identity every single moment. If you constantly tell yourself you're weak, you become weak. If you tell yourself you're disciplined, you act disciplined. Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the most respected philosophers, taught his students that freedom begins not in the body, but in the mind. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that carefully. It means no chain, no master, no misfortune could take his freedom as long as he controlled his own thoughts. That power is still available to you today. But to claim it, you must first confront the stories you are telling yourself daily. We are going to travel together through the wisdom of the Stoics and connect it to your modern life, but I won't give it all away yet. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how the simplest shift in self-talk, the smallest change in your inner words, can transform your resilience, your discipline, your ability to stay calm in storms, and your power to live with purpose. And I promise you this, the story I'm going to share later will challenge everything you believe about hardship and freedom. So stay with me, because this journey begins with you asking one simple question. What do I tell myself when the world feels unbearable? Picture this. You're standing in the middle of traffic, cars honking, deadlines crushing you, messages piling up on your phone. Life feels like a battlefield, and in the middle of that chaos, there's another battle happening silently, inside your head. One voice says, "You can't handle this. You're failing. You're behind everyone else." Another whispers, "Calm down. Focus on what's in your control. Let the rest go." Which voice wins? The answer decides not only your mood, but your destiny. Marcus Aurelius faced invasions, treachery, even the death of his children, and still wrote nightly in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wasn't empty philosophy, it was survival. And here's the loop I want you to hold on to. The way you train your inner voice today will either enslave you to chaos or make you unshakable when life tests you. Think about modern anxiety. How many nights have you laid awake replaying mistakes, feeling crushed by imagined futures? This is not new. Seneca warned 2,000 years ago, we are often frightened more than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. He was pointing at the same anxiety you and I feel today. We live in a storm of what-ifs. What if I lose my job? What if they reject me? What if I fail? The Stoic solution is radical. Stop fighting battles that only exist in your head. Direct your energy toward what you can influence, your effort, your choices, your character. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into what if, you practice pulling yourself back into what is. And slowly, the mind learns that fear is only a shadow of thought, not a prophecy of truth. But here's something most people don't realize. Your inner dialogue is not just about fear, it's about identity. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm lazy, I'm weak, I'm broken, and your actions will follow that script. Epictetus hammered this into his students. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Notice the order. First you must speak it into yourself, then act it into existence. This is where Stoicism meets modern psychology. Today, therapists call it cognitive reframing. Athletes call it mental conditioning. The Stoics simply called it wisdom. The stories you repeat become the habits you live, and the habits you live become the person you are. Now let me leave you with a story that will circle back later. There's an athlete who tore his career apart with one bad injury. Doctors told him he'd never compete again. For months, his inner dialogue was poison. I'm finished. My life is over. But then something shifted. He began repeating one Stoic truth daily. The obstacle is the way. Instead of asking, why me? He asked, how can I use this? He retrained his body. He retrained his mind. And he returned stronger. Not because the injury disappeared, but because the story he told himself changed. I won't tell you his name just yet. Hold on to that story, because by the time we circle back, you'll see why his transformation is a mirror of what you can do in your own life. Now, let's step deeper into the heart of Stoicism. If the first battle is against fear and negative self-talk, the second battle is against desire and distraction. Imagine you're scrolling endlessly through social media, chasing likes, comparing your life to strangers. Your inner dialogue whispers, you're not enough. You need more success, more beauty, more validation. But Marcus Aurelius warned himself against this very trap, writing, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. That truth is timeless. When your inner voice constantly craves what others have, you become a slave to their approval. But when you train that voice to say, I have enough, I am enough, I will focus only on what depends on me, you cut the chains. And here's the loop I want you to hold. If you master desire, you master freedom. If you don't, you'll spend your entire life chasing shadows. Seneca gave a radical piece of advice. Practice poverty. Wear simple clothes, eat simple meals, and then ask yourself, is this what I feared? Why? Because when your inner dialogue proves you can endure less, the grip of desire weakens. Suddenly, losing money, status, or comfort doesn't terrify you anymore. In today's world, this might look like fasting from your phone, living a day with minimal spending, or even walking instead of driving. Each act rewrites your self-talk from, I can't live without this, to I am stronger than I thought. And once that story takes root, resilience becomes second nature. You no longer fear losing what you never needed to begin with. Now think about discipline. Every great achievement is born not from a single dramatic moment, but from the quiet repetition of self-mastery. Epictetus told his students bluntly, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. And that is slavery to impulse. True freedom is commanding your own actions, your own mind, your own dialogue. Modern athletes, entrepreneurs, even soldiers live by this Stoic truth. They shape their inner voice to repeat, one more rep, one more page, one more step. And slowly, that repetition forges identity. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. Let's return to the story of the injured athlete. While his body was broken, his discipline was not. Each day, he woke up and asked himself the Stoic question: what is in my control today? The answer was never dramatic. Some days it was a single stretch. Other days it was visualizing his return. But his dialogue was relentless. I am not finished. I am becoming. And that story became his strength. Later, when he returned to the arena, reporters asked him how he overcame the impossible. His answer was simple: I changed the way I spoke to myself. This is the secret the Stoics left us. The outer victories people admire are always built on invisible inner conversations. And if that's true, here's the challenge for you. What inner story are you repeating right now? And is it making you stronger or weaker? And now we arrive at the heart of the matter. If everything we've explored, fear, desire, discipline, comes down to one thing, it is this: the story you tell yourself determines the life you live. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth in his time, filled his private journal with reminders, not commands to armies. Why? Because he knew the hardest empire to rule was his own mind. He reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. That single line could transform your life if you lived by it. Think about it. Storms will come, losses will hit, people will betray you. None of that is optional. But the voice you train within yourself, the dialogue you repeat in those moments, decides whether you collapse or rise. The Stoics were not detached dreamers, they were warriors of the mind. And they left us this weapon. Your thoughts can chain you, or they can free you. Here's the final loop closed. The athlete we spoke about. His name is countless because it could be anyone. It could be you. Every time someone rebuilds themselves after heartbreak, after failure, after loss, they live the Stoic principle. The obstacle is the way. The injury didn't make him stronger. His wealth didn't save him. His fame didn't carry him. His inner dialogue, forged by discipline, patience, and courage, became the foundation of his comeback. And this is the story you must now write for yourself. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, but today, in this very moment, when your inner voice whispers doubts, you have a choice. Do you repeat the old script of fear and weakness? Or do you speak a new one? The script of resilience, self-mastery, and unshakable strength. Seneca told his students, life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. You are not here to waste your life drowning in negat of self-talk. You are here to build an inner fortress, a calm within storms, a strength that no chaos can break. And you don't need to wait for inspiration. You can begin with one small act. Catch your inner voice once today and rewrite its words. Replace I can't with I will try. Replace I'm broken with I am becoming. Replace why me with why not me. Do this once and you will feel the shift. Do this daily and you will change your destiny. This is not theory. This is the practice of the Stoics. So as you leave this video, remember, Marcus Aurelius had wars, Seneca faced exile, Epictetus was born in chains, and still they lived with unshakable peace because they mastered their inner dialogue. What's your excuse? The world doesn't need another person lost in fear and distraction. It needs one more person who lives with clarity, with discipline, with courage. That person can be you. If you choose your words carefully, if you train your inner voice, if you live as the Stoics lived, unbreakable, resilient, and free. The obstacle is the way. Amor fati, love your fate. And never forget, The story you tell yourself today becomes the life you live tomorrow. Choose wisely